Right, so I've had the Honor 9X for a little while now. It's been a great phone so far. What do I think of the 5 top features of the Honor 9X? And also in comparison to what I think are the rivals to the phone, the Redmi K20 and also the Realme X. These 3 phones share around about the same price tags. Actually, both the Realme X and the Honor 9X are a little bit cheaper than the Redmi K20. But if you add options on there, or if you get the 9X Pro, then that will be tipping into K20 territory. So number 1 is the Kirin 810 chip, which has actually surprised me. This isn't the first phone to carry the 810 chip. That came in the Nova 5, but that was only a couple of weeks ago. So this is one of the first crop, and we're just seeing how this chip is performing. And I just did a speed test with the K20 versus this, and the Kirin 810 chip in this phone fared really well. It actually had a higher Antutu score, and in most of the other tests it basically outperformed the K20. Now the K20 has a Snapdragon 730, which is the best mid-range chip you can get. I thought that the Kirin 810 was not going to beat it, but it did. If you're also looking at this one compared to maybe the Realme X, the Realme X has a 710 processor, which isn't as powerful as the 730, which in turn got beaten by this phone. So yeah, it looks like the Kirin 810 is a really solid mid-range chip, and you're going to pay a lot more for it in Huawei branded phones. But this is, I think, the cheapest phone at the moment anyway that uses the Kirin 810. Right, the second top feature is the battery life. I have to also say that something about this phone that a lot of people aren't going to like is the quick charging on here. It's only got 10 watt quick charging, if you can call that quick charging these days. That's really basically normal charging, really. So that does get beaten by both the Realme X and the K20. Having said that though, I've been using it for a couple of days and it's really not bothered me because the battery life has been really good. You get a 4000 milliamp hour battery, which is going to last forever. Plus, because this is a Huawei phone, you get those battery saving modes. So if you go into the settings, you can actually see display settings here, and you can toggle the screen resolution to a lower amount or just keep it on smart resolution. And that will toggle down the display to help with battery life. And you can also go into the battery settings and you can put it in power saving mode. When you're not gaming, you really don't need the full force of the processor, or if you want to, you can put it in performance mode as well. So definitely the battery life so far has been really, really good. Both the K20 and the Realme X both have slightly quicker fast charging, 18 watt and 20 watt. But I'm not sure that makes a huge difference day to day. If this phone is going to last you all day with battery life anyway, I'm not sure it's a huge deal breaker, not for me anyway. So the third top feature is the screen. Now, in the unboxing and in my hands-on videos, I was saying that the LCD screen is really great, and I can't tell the difference between the OLED screens and the LCD screens of the K20 and this phone. But I must admit, using it for a little bit longer, it is evident that the LCD screen isn't quite as, I won't say good, but it's not quite as punchy as the OLED screen in the K20. All right, so we have it here side by side, and you can tell that there's a difference between LCD and OLED when you have them side by side. It's in the black. Obviously OLED, they will just turn off the pixels when it becomes black. And it does become evident when you are flicking through pictures like this, when there's black on the screen. Yeah, the LCD just isn't as contrasty as the OLED. Also, when you have white, you can tell that the LCD screen just has a totally different look to the OLED screen. And I must say that the OLED screen, it is just slightly better quality all around. That is just what you're going to get with an LCD screen. This is a really good LCD screen and I like it. The colors are really great, but in terms of contrast and just that little edge, I would say I have to give it to the OLED screens. All right, number 4 is the fingerprint scanner, which has really, really surprised me. I was a big fan of under screen fingerprint sensors because I just think it's a really cool bit of tech. It's under the screen. It's really cool and it's quick as well. That was until I used this thing on here, which is just lightning quick. You don't have to hold your finger on there. You literally just tap it and it's open. It's very different. I thought the K20s was quick, but this thing is just unbelievable. If you just put it side by side, you cannot tap this fingerprint sensor to open it. It just will not work. You have to hold it down. But on the 9X, you don't have to hold it down. You just tap and it's there. You don't have to hold. It's way quicker, way more convenient. And it's in a really good place as well. So hats off to Honor. I really like that side fingerprint sensor. And number 5, the last one, is the camera. It's been good so far. It's a Sony IMX582 II, which is the same sensor as you get in this phone, the K20. The K20 does add an ultra wide and a zoom camera that the Honor 9X doesn't have. So that's a lot of functionality you're doing without in the 9X, but you do have the 9X Pro, which has an ultra wide camera. It doesn't have a zoom camera, but 2x zoom, you can just take a 48 megapixel shot and crop in a little bit. How about compared to the Realme X? The setup with the 9X and the Realme X is the same. They both have a 48 megapixel main sensor, and it will give you very, very similar results. Although I tend personally to prefer Huawei or Honor images a little bit more than the competition at most price points. Follow my Twitter and Instagram if you want to see more pictures of the phones and the pictures coming out of the phones. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.